Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today, I want to talk about data privacy and nested learning as it relates to AI models. So, Google had put out a paper about nested learning. It is a way to treat models in terms of a nested architecture where the optimization is happening, where base knowledge in the model is not necessarily changing, but then when new information is added, it is put into models in an addition, as opposed to trying to change everything about the base knowledge of the model. So one of the biggest challenges that organizations have, especially the big companies that are creating these AI models, is about memory. Not only the storage, the cost of that, but then also how do they get fresh new information into a model without destroying the ground truth or the base information that's in models. And so the reason why this is a big challenge is because a lot of times these changes would have required rebuilding models that are is very expensive. So all of these big tech companies, they're racing to find different ways to be able to optimize these models without having to go through the expense of recreating or retraining models. So this nested optimization would really treat models in different layers and make sure that certain things aren't forgotten within models as they're adding new information. So it's just a new way or new architecture to think about. In terms of privacy, I think it always becomes a lot more complex when you're making a lot of changes to models because, from a privacy perspective, there are certain things that companies may need to retain and certain things that may need to be forgotten. But what they don't want to do is have models forget everything or forget basic things that are needed to build on whatever or whatever program that they're trying to run. So I think this will just be a problem that we'll continue to see companies try to look at from different angles. But I think, especially as people are changing these architectures so rapidly, I think it's going to become more of a challenge for explainability of these models in terms of how it works, how it operates, the level of transparency that's going to be needed and required. I think it's just going to make it more complex as we see the way that organizations develop these models, maintain them, keep data in them, take data out of them. I think it's just going to become more complex. So it remains to be seen what we see in terms of the different ways that organizations are looking at optimizing models so that they don't do things like catastrophically forget. I did a video about that. Then also, how do they retain that level of transparency and accountability around how, especially personal information, is being handled about individuals? That's it. Thank you.